Okay, so we are talking about the use of technology in schools, and this is part two of the same article that we are discussing. So, uh, the article talks about certain requirements which are to be fulfilled to be, to get admissions in the state colleges. So, what are the requirements in India to get into best colleges? There is certain grade that you need to have, certain percentage that you need to have in your boards, plus the entrance exams. What difference will there be in my school and other schools? That is the question that I'm asking myself perpetually, and I need to be asking myself again and again. Uh, so let's see. What I'm going to do is all these questions that I've marked, star marked, I'm going to jot them down. I'm going to have them on an Excel and start writing answers to them. I will keep on revising those answers, but then I need to start jotting down these questions because only these questions are going to lead me somewhere, to create a concrete model. So I'll start jotting down these questions now. Dan learned at a Stanford University graduate program for prospective principles in education policy, leadership, and organization. Do I have access to any education policy course? Yes. I went online and I checked if there is any course on education policy, and certainly there was a course on education policy. I'm going to talk about it later. Looks quite good. The syllabus is good. It's an online course, which suits me because of the work commitments. And definitely, I'm going to, whatever syllabus it shows. To my knowledge, it looks good now. As I dive deep, it is some good content to start out with. As I dive deep, I will know. But yes, I found an education policy course with the Indian context, which is a good thing. I was very happy. I'll be talking about it later. Automatic learning, authentic learning, they argue, takes place when kids engage in tasks that mimic the real world. This is getting repeated again and again. Real world situation, real world activities rather than worksheets. When students have some choice over what they are learning, and when classrooms are set up for high emotional, intellectual, and creative engagement, this needs to be taken care of. They are talking about not just academic, the emotional, intellectual, as well as creative engagement is what they are talking about. Real world activities. More and more emphasis on real world activities are being put out. Schools have to develop multiple dimensions of human being: intellectual, emotional, social, cultural, civic, and creative. Okay, so broadly, this sentence gives us the scope as to what all the schools needs to do for the students of today. What all things they need to uh, take care of. I'd pause the video because mm, I had an excellent idea that I'd thought about a few minutes back, but then I don't remember it right now. Maybe it will come back to me. So we need to have highly trained, adequately coached teachers, integrated classrooms, culturally relevant pedagogy. In the US, they have the white and black issue. We need to think about it in the Indian context. Yes, I need to think about it in the Indian context. Uh, in fact, in India, there are people from various backgrounds, right? Many people from different states, many backgrounds, residing in different parts of the country. So I need to be culturally more relevant. Whatever curricular is there, it needs to be curriculum is there. It needs to be culturally relevant. So definitely, I need to think about this culturally relevant pedagogy. What are summit schools all about? So there is a sentence wherein it tells us about what is the scope of summit schools. They train teachers. They try to keep their classes small. They emphasize on projects and mentorship in a racially and socio-economically integrated classrooms. They do not divide the classrooms up. They have an integrated classroom which strive to build academic rigor. Academic rigor, this is an important thing that is talking about academic rigor. This is absent in most of the schools in India. The academic rigor is not there. The parents, when they see their students doing homeworks, that is when they start cribbing. Oh, my student is doing lots of studies. But then that is not what I call academic rigor is. Through warm relations and sense of community. Warm relations is what we understand. Sense of community, we need to think about it more. What sense of community are we talking about here, and how do I develop that? The article then talks about the importance of self-reliance because things get tough in college and there are no mentors there. Okay, so what has happened is, in the summit schools, there are of course mentors to help most of the kids, but then when they saw how their the first batch of students were doing in colleges, they were not doing so great. Most of them had dropped out, and that is when these guys understood that something else has to be done. So that is when they came up with this concept of self reliance, wherein students are made, allowed to fail, they are allowed to do mistakes, they are allowed to take their own decisions. So or more, the approach is, you know like they have mentioned before, the approach gets more closer to the real life situation. That is what should happen in the classrooms. Summit schools subscribe to certain habits of success: breaking up large projects into smaller manageable goals. Breaking up large projects, okay. Monitoring your own learning progress, seeking help, reflection, and self awareness, managing priorities and time effectively. The larger vision being self directed learning. So, all this, when you imbibe all this into a student, okay, he is very well on his way to, start thinking on his own about his own development, about his own learning patterns, about his own progress. And if that starts happening, the student is really learning. He is really in charge of his own progress. He is not dependent on any particular person or a mentor or his parents to tell him what to do. He knows, if he has certain tools, if you have enabled them to think on their own, they start learning themselves. So self reliance is what we are talking about. Facebook has helped Summit schools with their Summit learning platform, which is a nice thing. Also, Tavener uploaded some lectures and worksheets to Khan Academy. So, some of the lectures that we were talking about are which are being offloaded. She has offloaded them to Khan Academy. Here, we have Byju's, which is doing an excellent job. They can be out. They can be given. The something like this can be uploaded to them. This has opened up time for teachers for teaching higher order skills, individual mentoring, analyzing student data, and curriculum planning, which is a nice thing. If certain chapters are getting offloaded and teachers are getting more time to take care of all this, it is definitely the best thing that could happen. Teachers in Finland, Singapore, and South Korea spend 15 to 25 hours every week working to improve their craft. In I don't know, in the in the schools in India, the focus is not there much. Once the syllabus is described, only that syllabus has to be taught. Most of the time, that is what happens. They do not think about the evolving the pedagogy or changing the pedagogy often. That does not happen. Teachers in India hardly spend any time. What higher order skills are we talking about? Okay, I need to define these higher order skills as well. Of course, critical thinking, empathy, these are the higher order things that we are talking about. But then we need to define these higher order skills.